Hello everyone, it's Mark and welcome back. In this video, I want to talk to you about uncorroborated evidence getting you Baker Acted. So in a prior video, I told you that it only takes two things to get you Baker Acted: a finger and someone to point it, and that's pretty much it. So in this particular video, I'm going to talk about some examples of, the finger and somebody pointing it. We had an instance, two instances that really come to mind. The first one was a mother and daughter who were on the phone. Mother was down here in Florida, daughter was up in Minnesota, and apparently during the conversation they got into a bit of an argument, and the mother said to the daughter, "Listen, what do you want from me? Should I just take a knife and cut my throat?" Well, apparently the daughter decided to use that and got her mother Baker Acted. She picked up the phone after the conversation with her mother, called down to local law enforcement here in Florida. They went to the mother's house. They didn't bother to check if the allegation was true. They didn't look to see if there was a knife. They just basically grabbed her in her own home, handcuffed her, and took her to a Baker facility. And it took us filing something in order to get her released. In another instance, we had a young lady who had an argument with her boyfriend. Apparently, they were actually fiancé. They were fiancés. They were planning to get married, and for whatever reason, they decided they were no longer going to be together. They parted ways, and the boyfriend, or the fiancé, I should say, who was the one who had been told by the young lady that she didn't want to marry him, he called the police and made an allegation that she had was threatening suicide. Now, apparently, in the hours leading up to the allegation, she had been at a mall, she'd been shopping, she had been, for all intents and purposes, leading sort of a regular, normal life. There was no indication that she was actually suicidal. Now, apparently, he claims that he did show this text to the police, but the police didn't bother to actually verify if it was true. They just showed up at her residence, didn't see any evidence that she was actually going to do something to herself. As far as we're aware, no weapons were seized, no plan of action was in place, and they just grabbed her, placed her in handcuffs, and took her to a facility. And again, this is another instance where we had to go to court to get her out. And so, when I say it only takes a finger and someone to point it, I mean it. I mean, it really doesn't take a whole lot. And I'm not finding fault with the police, but I'm just telling you that if somebody makes that kind of allegation, there's a good chance you're going to get Baker Acted. And we had one last instance where we had a minor child who was Baker Acted, and apparently during a group conversation online amongst children, one of the children said, I think I just want to kill that person, apparently in response to somebody saying something to the child that made him upset. And again, that was reported to law enforcement, and the police showed up at the residence and took the child into custody under the Baker Act. And so, really, it doesn't take a whole lot. It is our opinion, it's my opinion, that that's not enough. I mean, there needs to be some kind of corroboration, and apparently the courts agreed, because it didn't take us long to get those people out. But it doesn't take much. So anyway, with that said, appreciate you tuning into the video. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.